I'm sure you're getting some kind of objections from people that you're having to overcome. Like, what are the most common objections you're getting so far?
The biggest one for a couple is, well, if I die, my wife gets it. If I die, my husband gets it. And you and I spoke about that, and I said, okay, well, great. Let's assume that you both die together. Let's assume one of you dies a little bit later down the road. Let's assume that that happens and you live for a long time. You're the beneficiary of that money. You get it back. You reinvest it in yourself, and you give it to your child. That would have been the contingent beneficiary on that list. The
Right.
goal of this money isn't to spend it. The goal of this money is to give it to your children. You're simply taking it from, as you said, one pocket and put it in the other pocket, the money that you're going to give them anyway. Why does that make sense to you? That should something catastrophic happen, it was done.
Have you had any clients talk about their kid as joint owner on their accounts and, well, I don't need this. I already have Johnny as joint owner on my account.
Yeah, they do. And I kind of go back and I say, well, if Johnny was to decide today to run into a busload full of attorneys and potentially kill one or two of them, how much of that bank account that's yours does he own in the court's eyes? The court will potentially deem it that 100% of it belongs to him. And if not, 50%.
Right.
So what's in your bank account? Well, I know, and they say X dollars. I go, so potentially little Johnny now potentially went and ran into those busload of attorneys, and now you can't move that money because it's frozen through this court proceeding, and potentially you might lose that because of that great idea. But with the power of attorney for financial reasons, he has access to your account at all times, even though he's not owner.
Right.
Oh, so that's what typically sells the trust. Then the BLP comes into that. But because when you pass away, the power of attorney dies along with the owner of the power of attorney, now he has no access to your account. Now he's the trustee. So I walk them through that. How much money do you want to make them have the burden to have to figure out? Because without the benefit, without the death certificate, nothing happens. How much do you want to make sure they can carry those expenses forward for the next 30, 60, 90 days until those accounts get paid out? Because they will. But in Florida, it's 7 to 25 days from the state of Florida's website. Vital statistics is 7 to 25 days to get a death certificate.
Assuming everything goes as planned, known cause of death, everything gets signed off timely.
New York and Texas were the ones, I didn't look at all, but I have clients in New York, I have Texas and Indiana, but mainly New York and Texas. It was 60 to 90 days for the death certificate.
Yeah, California, some states are super long, some are faster than others, but again, we're assuming that everything goes perfectly.
Yeah, we're assuming the funeral home did a perfect job.
Or there's a known cause of death or all these things. And again, we always talk, George, about we could play the what if game all day long, back and forth. Well, what if this happens or what if that happens? And I always come back to, why would you take that chance to put your family through that stress if it doesn't cost you anything to fix it?
Yep.
And I don't know if you've experienced this, yet, but we've done thousands of these over the last almost 5 years. And sometimes the hardest part is getting clients to understand that they're not buying more inheritance. Have you experienced that where they're like, well, they're already getting money. I don't want them to get more, George.
Yeah. And I feel like I have to explain that up front. So I will go, and it's kind of my bottom line up front. I go, let me explain. We're not going to invest anything more. We're not buying another annuity. We're not going to go over to Kevin's office and put money under management. We're not trying to locate new money. What we're doing is protecting your beneficiary's inheritance by allowing them to have the opportunity to not have to go into debt at your death. Well, mine's already paid for. I said, let's assume that everything that you've done is all 100% paid for, and you die in, what was that last trip you went on? And I'll pause and I'll let them tell me, oh, we were in England. It was the best trip ever. We were on a riverboat, and you died on that riverboat. How do you get home? Is there some kind of like miraculous airplane ride that does it for free?
It's expensive.
It has to get paid for, right?